This is meant to be a product page that entices you to look at an Audi RS4 Avant Vorsprung and say, oh my god, look at that specification, absolutely, I want to spend £84,175 on this vehicle. Instead, what they do is they say, for your 84 grand, you get Audi rings in glossy black. You get inlays in piano finish black. Who cares? Hey everyone, Dale here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Audi RS4 Avant. For those of you that are new here, if you want to check out the description below, it gives you a little bit of detail on my background and why manufacturers listen to my opinion. Historically, I used to help manufacturers decide what sort of specification they should put into their vehicles, and more importantly, what that specification was actually worth. So that's what we're going to do today. What we're going to do is effectively go through the Audi RS4 Avant lineup, or their trim lines, and if Audi charge you £5,000 to jump up in the various trim lines, is it actually worth the £5,000 that they're asking to do that? So I'm going to record my screen as usual. You're going to see loads of arrows and numbers and all sorts of stuff on the screen here. I'll explain it as we go along. We're also going to look at this as if this was a 3-year finance agreement, and you know, a very non-specific agreement, but a 3-year finance nonetheless. And it's effectively what I think this or these specifications will be worth in 3 years' time, which again is fairly typical. It's between 3 and 5 years for a finance agreement, but 3 years I think is the most common. So as I always say in these videos anyway, if you want to jump into an Audi RS4 Avant, that's entirely your prerogative. If you want to spend £66,010 to jump into one, it's entirely your decision. But what I'm going to do today is just run through the individual specifications. There's only 3 of them, so it should be nice and easy to get through. So, got my screen recording, bit of picture-in-picture. The basic specification of an RS4 for your £66,010. You get 19-inch alloy wheels, Audi Matrix LED headlights with LED rear lights and dynamic front and rear indicators, MMI Navigation Plus with MMI Touch, RS Super Sport heated front seats in fine Nappa leather with contrast honeycomb stitching. And breathe. So that's the base specification, but obviously I'm not going to do the evaluation on the base. We're working up to see if it's actually worth jumping up in the specifications that they offer on the RS4 Avant. So it's a 2.9 litre engine, as you can see on my screen there, and 450 PS. So if I just scroll down, we go from the basic RS4 Avant to the RS4 Avant Carbon Black. I've got numbers down the middle there for my valuations. I've got an arrow that goes between the 2 models that we're talking about, and then a number on the far left, 6,965. And that's the money that you would have to give Audi to jump from a base model to the carbon black version. So again, £6,965 if you want to do that. The carbon black gets 20-inch 5-segment spoke Evo style design Audi Sport alloy wheels in glossy black, a carbon black styling pack we'll come back to in a second, Audi rings and lettering glossy black, and carbon twill inlays. So you're probably curious why there's a 0 next to the alloy wheels. From a valuation perspective, we don't add value to alloy wheels if the product or every alloy wheel within this product, and the product is the RS4 Avant, if they all get alloy wheels. So as standard, every Audi RS4 Avant gets alloy wheels, and therefore there's not perceived to be any benefit or valuation benefit by jumping up to a different alloy wheel, even if it's a different size or a different style, because it's quite subjective and you can obviously change alloy wheels. But from our perspective and from a valuation perspective, we don't add any additional value. The only way we would add additional value is if the basic or the base model of this vehicle came with steel wheels and then you jumped up to alloy wheels, or if the base model came with alloys and then you started jumping up to titanium and magnesium and carbon fibre and things like that. So because every single RS4 Avant gets alloy wheels, they don't get any additional value. So that's the reason why it's got a 0 next to it. Next up is the carbon black styling pack. So front spoiler, sill extension inserts, diffuser insert in carbon, including high gloss black trimmed radiator grille, windows and horizontal bar in the diffuser. So we'll just highlight a few of these things so that we know what we're talking about. So the front splitter, obviously down here. And if I just scroll up to this vehicle up here, you can see it's in silver on the base model. Sill extensions, so this is the bit down here, in carbon black or black. Diffuser insert in carbon, so that'll be around the back. Radiator grille, windows, and horizontal bar in the diffuser. So things that I can highlight straight away are the Audi rings on the front are in black, and obviously they're in silver on this base model. The wheels, obviously on this version, are black, and again on the base model they are silver or chrome. I'm not sure which exactly. The wing mirrors in silver on the base model and black on the carbon black edition, and then the window surrounds that you can see down here, they're all black, and on the base model they are in silver. So that is basically you know, the changing colour on this particular vehicle, where they've gone from silver to black. I put a conservative value of £1,000. Now obviously if you want to pay more in 3 years time, if you want to spend £5,000 because it's all blacked out and looks amazing in that respect, then that's entirely your decision. Somebody might not actually want to do that, and somebody might be just in between. So I've gone for a little bit of an in-between value and said, okay, well I think in 3 years time all that black garb that's around the edge of the vehicle is worth £1,000, and I'm thinking 3 years ahead. I'm also thinking what the next version of an Audi RS4 Avant looks like maybe a facelifted version. Will the facelifted version come with a completely different trim that's more desirable than the carbon black version, and therefore make the carbon black version a little bit less desirable? I can't imagine so, but I've put a conservative estimate there of £1,000. So what does that mean? It means that if you pay Audi £6,965, I think, personally in my opinion, maybe I'm a little bit light in terms of the valuation, I think in 3 years time you'll get £1,000 worth of that back. And obviously if you've read the description below, this is just the base specification, like the basic specification. This is what Audi want you to look at. This is what they're trying to entice you to look at so that you click through to that model. They've only itemised 4 individual pieces of equipment within this little summary here, but obviously these vehicles will get a lot more specification than I'm currently valuing. So it'll probably be worth more than £1,000 anyway, but because they're talking about Audi rings and the carbon inlays and things like that, you know, I can only value what I can see on the screen right now, and to make the video nice and short, otherwise we'd be here for quite a long time. But yeah, just going back down to the Audi rings and lettering in glossy black, I've included that into the valuation of the carbon black styling pack. All they've done is just itemise the carbon rings as a specific thing that they want to highlight, and then the carbon twill inlays I've added no value to. I just can't imagine that would be something that would influence someone's buying decision on whether they should have that vehicle or not, whether it's got carbon inlays on or not. So I put 0 down for that. Again, if you agree or disagree, jump into the comments, let me know what you think. What would you pay for this vehicle? Would you pay you know, £6,965 in 3 years time for it? Would you spend £1,000 in 3 years time for it because it's a newer, latest and greatest version of an RS4 Avant? So it'd be interesting to hear your comments on things like that. But there's only 3 specifications in the RS4 lineup anyway, so this is going to be nice and easy. So we go from the RS4 Avant Carbon Black to the RS4 Avant Vorsprung. Vorsprung generally tends to be the highest specification version of an Audi that you can buy. I found that even on the R8s and things like that, and I think there's stuff on the A1, and it's always, the Vorsprung is always the top version of whatever that product is. So again, far left, you can see that if you want to get into a Vorsprung, you have to pay Audi an additional £11,200 for the privilege. For visually at least, and the differences I see between the carbon black and the Vorsprung, I prefer the carbon black version. To be honest, I prefer just the basic version, and then I'd add options to the base version. But they're charging £11,200. Let's find out why, and let's find out whether it's worth it. So we've got 20-inch again Audi Sport alloy wheels in matte titanium look, high sheen finish. Again, for the reasons outlined before, it doesn't get any additional value. A black styling pack, front lip spoiler, radiator grille frame and side window capping strips in high gloss black. Also includes high gloss black air intake duct. I've added £750 for this, and what we do is we're layering the pricing. So if we went back to the carbon version and you saw I had £1,000 for the carbon trim, what I'm saying is this is an additional £750. So in reality, it'd be 1,750. That's the way that you sort of value these products. Audi rings and lettering, again, glossy black. Inlays in piano finish, black. I mean, there's so much meaningless specification listed here. I mean, this is meant to be a product page that entices you to look at an Audi RS4 Avant Vorsprung and say, oh my God, look at that specification. Absolutely, I want to spend £84,175 on this vehicle. Instead, what they do is they say, for your 84 grand, you get Audi rings in glossy black. You get inlays in piano finish, black. Who cares? I don't want to know that stuff. I want to know why I'm spending £11,200. I'm not spending it to have some Audi rings in glossy black. I can get that done, you know, from a garage down the street. So it's just bizarre to me. And then why would you have a black styling pack over a carbon styling pack? So there's just a lot of decisions here in terms of the product and how it's showcased that I absolutely would not do, and I'd advise Audi to change it. You know, if I had the opportunity or I was speaking with them directly, you know, I'd advise them not to do this if they want to entice people into their products, because it's meaningless, doesn't mean anything. I've actually gone into this because I just thought it was so hilarious, the specification that they're writing out here, to find what other additional specification was in this that would probably entice me to look at that vehicle a little bit more. So there's an RS Sports exhaust. That certainly interests me. It doesn't tell me if it's made of titanium or if it's Akrapovic or anything like that. It doesn't tell me the make. Because I know that Audi have a deal with Akrapovic. I'm not sure how it's said specifically. Also, it gets a panoramic sunroof. It doesn't say anything about the panoramic sunroof in this specification. I have to go find it. Other things that are included in the specification that I've got on a separate screen here that you can't see. Obviously, these are above and beyond what you get in the base versions, but these things are not worth anything. From a valuation perspective, obviously, if you want to spend the money on this sort of thing, then that's entirely your decision, but from a valuation point of view, I wouldn't add any value to this stuff. I'm going to read just a few examples. Predictive Efficiency Assistant. It's an RS4. I don't care about Predictive Efficiency Assistant. Audi Presense front. Turn Assist. Active Lane Assist, Park Assist. I've never used Park Assist. Personally, I mean, if you use it, it's up to you if you want the vehicle to park itself. I never use Park Assist. Audi Side Assist, Cross Traffic Assist Rear, Exit Warning. This is in addition to what you get on the other models. This is just not good. Not good specification whatsoever, and I can't see the £11,200 that Audi are asking for. They've got other things in there. They've got Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system. In 3 years' time, it's not going to be worth a massive amount of money. If I just scroll up to see if there's anything else. Black roof rails. This is the exterior gloss black, actually. Yeah, gloss black package. Dynamic steering. Why is dynamic steering not on the base version? Why does it have to be on the Vorsprung edition? Top speed restriction increased to 174 miles an hour. Again, why am I paying an additional £11,200 for that? Can I have that as an option to de-restrict it? Can I pay, you know, even 350 quid? That'd be too expensive anyway to de-restrict something. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one, this. I mean, you want my advice? Go for the base version and just add options that you want. I know it's a bit of a cop-out comment, but that's what I would do. I'd try to option out a sports exhaust, and I'd try to put a panoramic sunroof on there, and then see what interior I could get and design elements, and if I can get anything that blacked out, if that's the look I was going for. But the carbon black version, avoid, and the Vorsprung version, definitely avoid. And they're just not worth the money, in my personal opinion. Again, if you disagree or agree, jump into the comments below. If you've got one and you think it absolutely is worth the additional £11,200, then please let me know. But from my perspective, my experience, and how I would advise Audi, it's not worth it, at least in this guise. And then the specification that they list is not good. They need to work a little bit differently in terms of what they're trying to portray in terms of that vehicle. So that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and jump into the comments, and I will too, and we can have a discussion about the Audi RS4 Avant. Cheers.